Christian McCaffrey is on the 49ers. What does that mean? What are the 49ers going to look like with Christian McCaffrey against the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday? And oh, by the way, did I mention Christian McCaffrey's on the 49ers? New episode, Sprint Right Option Podcast, starts now.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Right Option Podcast. Today is one of those days where it's just electric. Electricity is in the building. The Niners, obviously, we're going to talk about it. I'm sure everybody's aware. I don't know if I said it at the open there, but Christian McCaffrey's on the 49ers. We're very, very excited. This is a new episode of the Sprint Right Option Podcast. I am joined, as always, by Jason Aponte. Jason, how are you doing? You mouth-watering little Rice Krispie treat you.
All right. Well, that's
I finally used the William Regal references.
Okay. Well, allow me to throw one back. Don't besmirch me. As we both wear wrestling shirts, and we didn't
got our
do
wrestling
that,
shirts on today.
Yeah, last night it felt like the night that I missed when Trent Williams was signed overnight, right? Like that was the night that I missed. I went to sleep. So I'll set the scene for you. I'm sitting here stewing because Yankees are down 2-0, and then Chris Olave comes this close to cashing my bet on any time, and that doesn't happen. And then my phone goes off. And last night I want to describe as the mad dash to YouTube, like
yes.
the night that every single person who is a YouTube personality ran to there and just went right in front of their camera. So for anybody who watched my show last night, it was a little disjointed. Yes. It was like me just trying to process things in front of everybody. It was me yelling at Carolina Panthers fans, yelling at fantasy football fans who were asking me about who the crappy backup of the Panthers is, as if that's going to help you win your league. But yeah, no, it's not. It's Deonta Foreman. But this is something that when you don't get the compensation, right? Like in the beginning, you're just thinking about the schematic things that you can do, right? And we'll get into the compensation because I think it's a little bit overblown. And I have some things to tell people so they can calm down off that front, even on the injury front. But last night's electric. That's one of the funnest nights I've had, doing content creation. Shout out to the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes.
For never, ever letting us down at any point during the season. There's always something to talk about. I absolutely love covering this team. Absolutely.
They are the best content creators in all of 49ers Twitter. That's something Jason has said multiple times. And yeah, I mean, my reaction, I was literally wrapping up my 5 players to watch on the 49ers offense article against the Chiefs. That's what the same thing I write every week. Hey, who are the players to watch on offense? Who are the players to write on defense? And I was finishing it, and then the trade comes through, and I instantly threw in the Christian McCaffrey section, knowing that, like, there's a chance he doesn't play much, right? He gets traded on a Thursday night. Turnaround's pretty tight, and I even threw that in. But just what a night. It's a night that there's not too many nights that is a universal excitement on 49ers Twitter. And last night was one of those nights. Nobody was complaining about it. Like, even when the compensation came out, which I don't know if there was a compensation for Christian McCaffrey that I would have said, that's too much. Like, maybe they gave up. I don't know what that point would have been. What they ended up giving up is nowhere near what I thought it was going to cost, especially with the rumors of 2 first-round picks. The Panthers were never going to get 2 first-round picks, so I'm not going to say the Niners were going to offer that. But seeing what they gave up, first of all, as a content creator, very exciting that, like, we could have the middle of April off a little bit because, like, the Niners aren't picking until, like, day 7 of the draft. But things like that, thank you for the donation, Real Talk Niner Talk. We appreciate it. But, like, the Niners, they added a very legitimate weapon to a team that already has 3 or 4 very legitimate weapons. And for the first time in, for sure, the Kyle Shanahan era, like, there is no question of what the running back room looks like. There is no question of the order. There is no question of the rotation. This is Christian McCaffrey's backfield. Yeah. And the other thing too is this isn't a rental. This is not a rental. This isn't, they traded a guy this isn't an Emmanuel Sanders situation. Mm-hmm. Christian McCaffrey is going to be here through at least 2025. Probably longer because the connections are there. I don't know if you knew this, Jason, but Christian McCaffrey's dad was on the team that Kyle Shanahan's dad had. I don't know if you knew that. I don't know if you saw that. Also, Kyle Juszczyk went to Harvard. Don't know if you saw
I was
that.
alive. I was alive when it happened. I know full well.
So man, how exciting. How exciting is this? And really, in terms of in season, when's the last time the Niners made a splash like this? Because it's very easy to say, obviously Trent Williams trade happened. That wasn't in season. Payne, thanks for the comment. Jason once said, treat all 52 players equally. When Jeff Wilson fumbles, he throws him back out there and doesn't treat him like everyone else. Paraphrase. Well, Jason, looks like Jeff lost his job. He'll still be in the rotation. He still very much will be in the rotation.
He will, but
obviously McCaffrey's going to be, yes.
I do think that is a larger indictment on the room. I think that if you want to really at least take a glass half empty look at it, is Tyrion Davis-Price isn't it?
Yeah.
That's 2 third-round running backs. So the one thing I wanted to say before we get into the draft compensation is it was a beautiful thing to see everybody for at least a few hours get out of the steel cage match and just rejoice. That was fun as hell to me. Nobody had anything bad to say. And if you had something bad to say, people universally were just like, shut up, man. Nobody cares. Nobody was upset. But when you listen to 2nd, 3rd, 4th round pick, and then a 5th round pick the year after, basically the 49ers are giving away their entire draft, right? Well, no. Let's take a look at next year's draft picks. 3rd round pick for Saleh and Mayhew. 3rd round pick for Mike McDaniel. 5th round pick for DJ Jones. 5th round pick that they still own. 6th round pick for Arden Key. 7th round pick from Denver. 7th round pick for Raheem Mostert. And another 7th round pick. By the way, when DeMeco Ryans leaves for a head coaching job, there's another 3rd. When Jimmy Garoppolo signs somewhere else next year, that's another 3rd. So, and then the part that I had a little bit of issues is, you can't give up 3rd round picks, but everybody universally believes that the 49ers are better in the later rounds than they are in the first few rounds, right? There's that joke out there about start the draft in the 5th round. That's when the 49ers are there. And then look, not to beat a dead horse, but I am about to. I don't give a shit about a 4th round pick when you use them on punters in certain ways. So we are at a point now where you guys have overvalued what a draft pick can be, instead of what Christian McCaffrey is.
Yes.
Give me what he is, and don't give me some hypothetical player that might turn out to be a special teams player, that might turn out to be a guy who never even plays, that might turn out to be a 3rd round running back for back-to-back years, that's not going to crack the rotation or not be on this team. So I just the overblown outrage about the picks, it was just a little funny to me. So I had to put that to bed real quick.
Well, and the fun thing is too, the less 2nd, 3rd round pick the Niners have, the less trades they can make to move up and get a running back. Oh, by the way, they don't have to move up and get a running back anymore because they have a running back. It's Christian McCaffrey, and that's just the answer now. And so the compensation, as Jason said, it's 2nd, 3rd, 4th this year, and then a 5th round in 2023. And ultimately, and I know this is a big if, Jason. I know this is a very
Do you get this one?
JK, yes, I do. I've seen this movie. We went over this. I've seen this movie. Yes. I lost my thought. That's JKBG is so good at that. He says
good. Always good at throwing you off.
And I know this is a big if, but if the Niners win the Super Bowl, like that thing that everybody tries to do, who cares, man?
Right.
Who cares about these picks? And the Los Angeles Rams have made a living off of this, right? It's they have not had a 1st round pick since Jared Goff. They won a Super Bowl. I don't think Rams fans care.
One more tangent real quick that I can go off. A lot of fans tell me about, I want to build a dynasty and win 2 and 3 and 4 championships. Let's start with 1. Let's get 1, and let's figure out the rest. Yes. Don't tell me about 2, 3, 4, and 5 when it's hard enough to get number 6 for this team.
To put it in comparison to a team I watched, the Giants, 2010's forever the special one because that's the first one. Because you can't assume the 2nd, 3rd ones until you get the first one, right? And so right now, yes, this is a move for the future for the 49ers because as we said, they have him through 2025. But right now, this is a move for now. This is a move for this season. He's going to be on the field Sunday. How much? I don't know. It's going to be limited. But after that, he's going to be the number 1 running back. He is going to be on the field. And it's going to make the 49ers a better football
Yeah.
team, no matter how you cut this. And even too, like something that we talked about a lot last year, and something we got a lot of pushback on, is this is going to make Elijah Mitchell better, because Elijah Mitchell is not a workhorse running back. We saw the wear and tear last year on him. He got hurt again this year, that's obviously not wear and tear. That's a first week injury, whatever. But now I think Elijah Mitchell is going to be more productive, because Christian McCaffrey is going to not share. It's not going to be a 50-50 share, but it's going to be less work for Elijah Mitchell. Maybe he's more productive. This is going to take pressure off of Deebo Samuel, because now maybe Deebo Samuel doesn't have to be a running back as much, which I know I said that before the season, so I'm probably wrong, because I was wrong before the season. But and I guess even too, you could even do the Debo, I almost said Shanahan, but the Debo and McCaffrey backfield type thing. Thank you again for the donation, Real Talk Niner. Then Luis, clearly the running back room is getting a huge boost. Mitchell's coming back also, but what about the passing game? Thoughts? And yeah, man, that's where this really comes into play. And I didn't want to use this right away, because I'm going to list a lot of names, Jason. So I'm really sorry about this right now. But SB Nation, Secret Base, they posted a graph of a list of career games since 1950 with 90 plus rushing yards and 10 plus receptions. And it's a list of a lot. I'm not even going to list a lot of the names, but it's a list of about 10, 15 names that include Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley, Marshawn Lynch, Frank Gore, Emmitt Smith, LaDainian Tomlinson, like a lot of all-time great running backs. They're all tied for second place with one game of 90 plus rushing yards and 10 plus receptions. Christian McCaffrey is in first with 5.
Yeah.
And that's the player we're adding. It's not just a running back. It's a player that's going to be very good in a run system. And last thing, and I'll let you go, Jason, is since Kyle Shanahan has come to the 49ers, the wet dream scenario has been Christian McCaffrey in a Shanahan system. We got that now.
And, for the people that want to say two things I'm about to debunk. For the people that want to say, well, he's nowhere near as dynamic that he was, look no further than last Sunday, 158 total yards when the entire defense was keyed in on him against the Los Angeles Rams. And, oh, by the way, PJ Walker was the quarterback. And it was literally give him the ball however you can get it to him. And, like Guy Haberman said on his podcast, and I don't want to make it seem like I made this up, so I just want to make sure I credit him, because, we're big Guy Haberman fans over here. It was like the Panthers were auditioning him for everybody. Like, look, he's still got it. And look at that. A whole defense is keyed in on this guy. 158 yards, and PJ Walker was the quarterback, right?
Yep.
Now, when you think about the things that you just talked about, it lightens the load for Debo. It lightens the load for McCaffrey. McCaffrey's not going to have to carry the ball 19, 20 times over and over and over. Like, literally, the Panthers' offense was 22, 22, 22, 22, 22, 20. Like, that's it. DJ Moore didn't get the ball. Robbie Anderson didn't get the ball. It was all Christian McCaffrey. Now all that goes away. Now, let me debunk the injury thing. If Christian McCaffrey had torn ACL, torn Achilles, cracked knee, his injuries are shoulder sprain, hamstring strain, ankle sprain. Those aren't like somebody who's injury prone. Those feel more like freak injuries more than they do something that's reoccurring, right? Mm-hmm. So when you think about the injury list, when you think about the way that he's going to be used, when you think about that his touches are going to decrease, but his efficiency is going to rise, because now you have this whole idea of, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, Jennings maybe even out wide, and him in the backfield, and he runs Texas route. Shout out to Rich Madrid. He's going to get mad at us and yell at us.
Option?
Texas route. But it's going to be beneficial for everyone. And again, when you look at what they gave up, I don't think it's necessarily an overpay, just because for the same people that tell you every time that the 49ers miss, for every time you draft Drake Jackson in the second, who's a hit, you draft Trey Sermon in the third, or Tyrion Davis-Price in the third, and that's a miss.
Yes.
So, like, again, give me what I know. The injury history doesn't nearly shake me as much as it does somebody like who has a torn Achilles or torn ACLs in both knees. Like, Jerick McKinnon had a far worse injury history, and I'm glad I brought him up because we are going to be talking about it, had a far better history, a far worse history with injuries that were more concerning than Christian McCaffrey has. So if people want to view this as an overpay, if they want to be negative about the injury history, if they want to say this is desperate, you just might have to look in the mirror and just say, yeah, you're negative, like overall, like, you know, and that's more than anything at this.
Key thing for the donation, fans complain Kyle doesn't go all or take chances. He still does. And fans, it's
one more thing on that. If the Los Angeles Rams were the ones who had that Sheffield tweet,
this podcast would be melting down right now.
Everyone would be crushing the 49ers front office for not being aggressive. And now that the 49ers were aggressive, pushed their chips into the middle of the table, realize that this defense is too special to waste and not give your offense a chance, because the offense is going to have to be the reason this team goes to the Super Bowl. So let's get it there. But you would be crushing the 49ers, crushing them. Yes. It is so funny, man, how quickly the narrative turns. You literally cannot convince me otherwise of any other way.
Not to gatekeep or nothing, but there's people just like to be negative, and that's okay.
That's okay.
But to your point, Jason, about the usage of Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers offense, and it's we talked about it literally 2 weeks ago when we previewed this game. The Panthers as a team have combined for 226 touches on offense. DJ Moore is second with 25. Christian McCaffrey, 118 touches.
And look, this is so funny from Hendricks. Yes. I got an old Michael James jersey that's going to get duct taped over for that new CMC jersey. Remember when Jeff Garcia had to give Trey Lance his blessing for number 5?
Oh, my
cares
God.
about little bro like
that. Do you think that do you think that Christian McCaffrey had to call Taylor Mays and it was like, hey, man, like,
hey, Marquez Pope, do you think it's okay I can wear your 23?
I'm actually trying to find a list of people.
Number 23s.
Yeah, let's see if we could get a full list here. But man, his usage is gonna go down significant. It almost has to, because he's no longer the focal point of the offense.
And you have to get everybody else involved.
Exactly. And like, yes, like he goes from a team like DJ Moore is cool. Robbie Anderson, not there anymore, obviously, but he's cool.
He's cool.
Yeah, he's cool. Like he's good.
He's very good at football.
He's very good at football, yes. But we're comparing Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, and Christian McCaffrey now to Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Juwan Jennings, I guess, throwing it out there just because I want to. It's exciting, man. I like there's really nothing to dislike about this move. It's a team.
Yeah.
It's a team that recognized that, hey, we could use a little something, and they went out and got a little something. And not only that, they went out and got him, and they outbid the Rams. They beat the Rams for him.
A lot of this has to do with that.
All right. So are you ready for the list of Niner history of number 23?
All right. Reggie Bush, Marcus Pope, LaMichael James.
Yes. Okay. You got a couple. I was going to go in order.
Go for it.
Bill Remington, George Smith, Bill Johnson. I'm in the 50s, so if these names don't pop, sorry. Rex Berry, Ray Norton, Wayne Swinford, Johnny Fuller, Bruce Rhodes, Bruce Treadgill, back-to-back Bruces. That's cool. Herb Williams. That's a great name. Tony Cherry, Spencer Tillman, Marquez Pope, Pearson. Oh, I'm going to butcher this. Prioloiu. I'm sorry if I messed that up. Somebody tell me how wrong I was there.
He's probably watching right now. He'll jump in the comments. And
Pearson, when you're watching, let me know how to pronounce your last name. Jimmy Williams, Derek Johnson, Marcus Hudson, Taylor Mays, Raymond Ventrone, LaMichael James, Reggie Bush, Akello Witherspoon, and JaMychal Hasty. That is the history of number. I think there's very much an argument to be made that Christian McCaffrey might be the greatest Niner to wear the number 23 already.
I think it's safe to say that. One thing,
maybe the greatest athlete of all time to wear. I can't think of any other historical 23.
Yeah, I mean, better than that guy, that everybody loves, who punches his teammates. Oh, wait, that's not the same team, right? Oh, wait, I'm talking about Michael Jordan. All right, anyway, what I did want to point out, and something that I've noticed, right, and a lot of people have noticed, Kyle Shanahan offense don't throw the ball to their, at least for the 49ers, they don't throw the ball to their running backs. What I do want to point out is there are certain instances that you can see where immediately Christian McCaffrey steps in. Mm-hmm. I want to point to the Jeff Wilson touchdown against Arizona in 2019, which was a choice route. Rich, please don't kill us. We're joking around. It's not a Texas route. We know. But don't expect more of that. The Raheem Mostert catch, and obviously Christian doesn't have the wheels that Mostert does to house that in 2020 in game 1 against the Arizona Cardinals. But again, For a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo, right now at this point, we know what he is. He's intermediate. He's short, quick release. If you get him in space, if you get McCaffrey on a linebacker and he has a two-way go, it's over. Like, it's a wrap. It doesn't matter who the other guy is, right? You can do whatever you want. You want McCaffrey in the slot? Cool. You want him out wide? Cool. You want him in the backfield? Fine. You want him to run routes and you're going to take a linebacker away from run pursuit to make sure that he's watching him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going to be for next year when Trey Lance is under center and that ball is in the middle of McCaffrey's belly with Debo running through and there's a guy trying to cover all three of them. The chaos that now you are putting out there, and this is no disrespect to Elijah Mitchell, to anybody here. It's recognizing that Christian McCaffrey is a top 5 running back in the league.
Yes.
So think about what the 49ers have now. You've got the best left tackle in the world. You got a top 2 tight end. You got a top 5 running back. You got a top 1 offensive weapon. You got the 1-2 best linebacker in the world. Now it looks like you got one of the best cover corners in the world. Jimmy Ward is up there with any safety. I'll die on that hill as well too. What if Hufanga continue?
Well, exactly.
Like, this team is loaded right now.
And you didn't even mention Nick Bosa.
Right. And the best edge in the league, right? So when you look at this team right now, you can't rest on your laurels. This is why the 49ers are lockstep with me, at least in this point, about 4 and 5 Super Bowls. Let's strike while the iron's hot. We know what's in front of us. The NFC's wide open. Do you believe in the New York Giants? I don't. The Philadelphia Eagles are 6-0. Cool. They're very good. The Minnesota Vikings are 5-1. Do you believe in them? No. After that, it is 3-3 teams. The Green Bay Packers are who they are. The Tampa Bay Bucks are who they are, meaning they don't have large injuries, right? Like, they don't have anything that's changing about them. They're going to be those teams going forward. The Rams are who they are. The Cardinals are a mess. They're an absolute mess. I don't give a damn what the hell you just watched on Thursday. That game was terrible. They stink. The 49ers right now have reinforcements coming back.
Yes.
Reinforcements coming back in a way on defense and on offense. Imagine saying that you're getting the best left tackle in the world back. Nick Bosa is going to play. All these guys are coming back. And you just added a top 5 running back. The 49ers front office realized what's in front of them. And they are not wasting this season with this generation of defense right here. This is a fun time to be a 49er fan. And look, for better or worse, I know circumstances change week to week. And I know that, this league changes and it's 10 more days. Other teams can make trades as well, too.
Yes.
But as of right now, no matter how this shakes out, you cannot sit there and say that this team was not aggressive and that they don't see what's in front of them. So for better or worse, they made a move that maybe down the line we'll look back and say, you know what, man, it didn't work out. But I applaud them for breaking out of the mindset, even though they've been aggressive. D4, that's a trade. Emmanuel Sanders, Charles Omenihu, they didn't really trade for an impact player of this proportion, though. So I think that it's the flashiest name. Let's just say that the flashiest name they could have traded for. So yeah, I applaud this front office for understanding we still have a gaggle of picks. We actually picked better in the back end, and we've been noticing that these first few picks, first round, second round, third round. For every Drake Jackson is a Tyrion Davis-Price or Danny Gray that's never going to see the field at this point. Why don't you go for the known commodity?
Yep, exactly. And that's always been my feel with picks. I know obviously first-round picks are a little different of a conversation, but even too, if the Niners had to kick in a first-round pick, I think my feeling would still be the same because it's yeah, man, it's great. Like you get the chance. Like all the draft is the higher the picks are, it's just the higher chance you get a better player. Nothing's guaranteed, and that's where it is. And you mentioned all the weapons the Niners have. I'm going to say a word I don't think I've said on this podcast before. Jordan Elliott, good friend of the podcast and good friend of Jason and Andrew, he tweeted the Niners in 21 personnel. Who Andrew using terms? Look at that. Of Kyle Juszczyk, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and Brandon Ayuk. Like, how do you
pick your poison?
Like, pick your poison. And even to a team against the Chiefs, we're going to dive into that in a second. This Shanahan offense is predicated on space, right? It's predicated on getting guys in space and letting them run. And you have, Juszczyk included, you have 5 weapons that if you give them space, they're going to make things happen. You finally found I don't get that reference, but that's a funny reference.
All right, no, I do. Frisco 405. I'm not a big car guy. Guy. But you finally bought a Hellcat instead of a Prius, meaning the Hellcat has a bunch of power. It can really go fast. And Priuses, they're good on gas, man. Yeah. And they're economical and they're good for the environment. But in a drag race, I'm going to do horrible bosses. You were drag racing in a Prius. I don't win a lot. There you go. That's the answer right there.
And Lee, yeah, the draft does matter in a capped league, but it's more, there's a difference between the draft and draft picks. Draft picks mean nothing until you put names on them, right? And that name could mean nothing. But that name could mean something. I don't know if you heard, Jason, like just like how Juszczyk went to Harvard and Christian McCaffrey and Shanahan and all that. Tom Brady was a 6th round pick, right? 31 teams missed on him. And the team that drafted him missed on him 5 times.
George Kittle, what round?
5th.
Elijah Mitchell, what round? 6th. Talanoa Hufanga, what round?
2nd.
6th.
I'm way off.
I think so. 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
Fred Warner, 3rd. Look, I hate this. I hate to say this, but this is year 3. Javon Kinlaw, 1st round. I hate to say it. I hate it. I don't like saying that. But Javon Kinlaw, 1st round. Brandon Ayuk, 1st round. Love it. Dante Pettis, 1st round. It's again, you go through these names, and every time that one of these picks busts, the draft's a crapshoot. Yes, it is a crapshoot.
Yeah,
that's the point. Mitigate the risk.
It's fully possible that the Panthers go for let's just say hypothetically that the Panthers select 4 all-pro players with the 4 picks the Niners had. In hindsight, it doesn't look great, but what's to say that those were the 4 players the Niners were going to even select with those picks? Things like that. And also that's just a future problem. Like if the Niners win the Super Bowl this season and Christian McCaffrey Super Bowl MVP, thank you for the donation, Niner Gang Wolfcast.
My guy, man, make sure you guys subscribe to him. I was on his show this week, man. He's a good guy, man. I appreciate that.
Shut up. If the Niners win the Super Bowl this year,
I'm sorry, Pettis 2nd round. I'm sorry,
Dante Pettis 2nd round. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, love that she's still here. Day 1,
Sin,
right there.
Sin is awesome, man.
Since day 1, we love her.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say the Niners. Let's just say hypothetically, just for fun, the Niners win the Super Bowl this year. Christian McCaffrey wins Super Bowl MVP. Let's go extreme with it, and let's say the Panthers draft the next. I don't know, man. I'm just throw random names out there. The next Julio Jones and the next Nick Bosa with the picks the Niners gave them. I don't think I'm going to necessarily care because the Panthers, they still got work to do. They still don't have a ring. The Niners got a ring because of Christian McCaffrey. So that's my thing. We're not poo-pooing the draft.
No.
We're poo-pooing the idea of draft picks being super valued because those picks are as valuable as you make them. They mean nothing right now. And there's a full chance that in 5 years, those picks mean nothing.
Right.
But at the same time, those picks could mean something. But I don't think Kyle Shanahan cares. I don't think John Lynch cares. I don't think any of them care right now. They're trying to win a Super Bowl this year and a Super Bowl next year and a Super Bowl up until 2025. And that's all that matters.
And let's get it clear. The 49ers core is drafted from the inside. Like they're not just doing like, whatever, you guys can clown me, the Yankee thing. Like just getting a free agent, bringing in new guys. Like Fred Warner drafted, George Kittle drafted, Deebo Samuel drafted. Like they did this with Trent Williams. I get that, but it was the best left tackle that was available. Huh?
Garoppolo as well. They traded for.
They traded for. Fine. Okay. Yeah. But this team, this core, what they're built on is drafted.
Yes.
They're all drafted. So there's nothing wrong with adding someone from the outside in to complement them and take them to the next level. There has to be a balance of building your team through the draft and making shrewd moves either in free agency or through trades.
Yes. And I guess too, just to make that list a little easier, just off the top of my head, I have 4 names: Garoppolo, Williams, Mooney Ward, and now Christian McCaffrey. All these names that we're talking about, I may or may not have rumored. I talked to Josh a lot. He might know some things. All the names that we talk about on a weekly basis are more often than not drafted outside of Williams, Mooney, Garoppolo, and now Christian McCaffrey. Everybody else is drafted on this team, right? And obviously like Samson Ebukam, I guess, as well too, but like he's still kind of proving. He's been very good, but he's still kind of proving himself to 49er fans at least. Things like that. So yes, like the draft is important. It is very important. But as I said, once again, the picks don't matter until they do. And that's kind of the point we're making. So yeah, we're not poo-pooing the draft.
No.
And then real quick, just since Josh mentioned it, we'll do a quick plug for the podcast. You're new here. See a lot of new names today. It's very exciting, Niner fans. Subscribe to Jason Aponte's YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Sprint Red Option podcast wherever you get your
We're
podcast.
7 away. We're 7 away from 7K.
Let's get to 7K by the end of this podcast.
7 away from 7K. So if you're brand new, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Consider joining the channel so you can get a call-in link for the Spicy Squad. Sounds like what we might be doing after dark tonight. And you know what? I think after dark tonight might be just dropping a link and letting anybody come in here so you guys can give your thoughts as well.
Yeah. So for new people, we haven't done this in a while. Actually, we haven't done one this year, and it's essentially at the end of this podcast, we're going to run the closing credits. That is going to be the audio portion of the podcast, but we do a thing we call, I don't know where we got the term after dark, but we're going to stay on after the closing credit. It's going to be a lot looser. We're just going to enjoy talking about whatever comes to our mind.
Yeah, obviously, I'm going to pop a bottle of wine and sit here and let you guys
we're going to have fun
off.
and enjoy it. So 49 or Sprint Red Option podcast after dark, after the closing credits. So be sure to hang out. Jason, we've spent 30 minutes on Christian
talking
McCaffrey.
About Christian McCaffrey. Hey, real quick, Andrew.
Yes.
Are you excited about Christian McCaffrey? I just want to like ask you like real quick.
A little bit. Yeah, just a smidge, just a little bit.
Yeah, and look, guys.
And it's funny too, because I texted you last night with this, and I literally said it on the podcast, like 3 weeks ago when the rumors of Christian McCaffrey reared their head. I am very tame on the thought of it because of what it would cost, because I thought maybe it would cost more. The price the Niners paid was way lower than I thought it was going to end up being. So first, I'll throw that out there. And then B, his injury history. But at the same time, if the Niners pull the trigger, I reserve the right to be very, very, very excited about it, because like Christian McCaffrey would be a 49er. Yeah. And here we are. Christian McCaffrey is a 49er, and I don't care about anything. So yeah, absolutely.
Look, don't let anyone drag you down with negativity. This is good life advice. Forget this trade. Don't let anyone drag you down with negativity. If you're excited, be excited. You deserve to be excited. Any other team would be excited. And if you saw any other team getting Christian McCaffrey, you would be sad. You would say, oh my God, like they're getting someone. Like the 49ers have done something that a lot of fans have asked them to do. Bring us a flashy name. Bring us somebody who's a difference maker. And Christian McCaffrey is all of those things. And then when you pile on all of the things that Andrew alluded to earlier, father playing for the team, Kyle Shanahan babysat him, all this stuff, went to Stanford. John Lynch was there. Ed McCaffrey, I believe, and John Lynch played together when they were on the Broncos. Like all of these things together, it's so cool, man. It really is. And forget all the cool stuff. Christian McCaffrey is a difference maker and puts the 49ers at the forefront of the discussion of teams that should be playing in Glendale. Yeah. And that is what for the first time, the Berman Bowl really feels like it's like really close on the preface of this right now, right? Like, especially if the 49ers, spoiler alert, do what I think they're about to do on Sunday.
So do we want to, we spent the first 32 minutes about something that happened last night. Do we actually want to get into what the podcast was going to be before about 8
Go for it. Let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs.
So the 49ers, they played the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know if you've heard that team name before. They're pretty heckin' good at this football thing on Sunday at Levi's Stadium.
Andrew, real quick, Andrew. There's a lot of PTSD going around this weekend for 49ers fans. Absolutely. 2012, 2019, all together. Yeah. 2012 Super Bowl lost against the Ravens. 2019 Super Bowl against. Sorry, didn't want to bring this down, but this is why the urgency around this game has been heightened. Yeah, has been heightened because, look, I'm not going to tell you which one hurts me the most. It's like trying to pick your favorite child, even though I only have one. The one that hurts me the most is the Ravens one. And now we're going to celebrate that team that made it there and lost the Ravens.
Yeah, because Harbaugh's going to be there, and that's exciting within itself. So the Chiefs are good, very good, 4-2 on the season. They lead the NFL in scoring. And that's where I kind of want to start, because I'm going to say just something super obvious, and I hope Jesse is here because he's going to love this hard-hitting analysis. Jason, in order for the San Francisco 49ers to defeat the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to have to go out there and outscore the Chiefs.
Boom.
And I know that sounds super obvious, and the Niners defense is very good. I don't know if that's going to matter. And that's kind of the point I'm making is yes, obviously the Niners are going to have to score more points than the Chiefs to win. But the Chiefs are probably going to put up points against this defense. And that's okay. The Chiefs are just that good. This is back in the realm of what we talked about Tuesday with like, hey, it's okay to say the Falcons beat the Niners. It's okay. Like, we don't need excuses. There we go, Jesse. We love it. What's the Niners record when they score more points than their opponents?
Jesse, can we real quick ask you what the Niners record is when they outscore opponents real quick?
And just crunch the numbers real quick.
Just crunch the numbers real quick. Like, get the calculator out and do it for me real quick.
But the Chiefs are the number one scoring offense in the NFL, man. The Niners aren't. Spoiler alert, right? And Christian McCaffrey makes this a little easier. I know he won't play a ton. He'll get some snaps. But the Niners are going to have to go out there and score points. That's it's simple as that. And that's what they're going to have to do to beat the Chiefs.
And I understand McCaffrey's not going to play in this game, but this game is going to be the example and the litmus test of what this offense is going to have to do. And Jesse has the number right here. The 49ers are 3-0 when they outscore opponents. That is an insane stat.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I think we don't have questions about the defense, right? We have no questions about the defense. And this game, there's the Rams next week, and then there's a bye week. And then after the bye week, the 49ers are going to be healthy. That's past the 8-week timeline for certain players. You know, Azeez Al-Shaair might be making his way back in the next week or so. That only strengthens what this team is. It's gonna rely on the offense. This is gonna be the first game that you are going to really look at the offense and say you're gonna have to do it. At the same time, I do want to push back a little bit on this like Chief powerhouse offense thing. I think the Chiefs have the best numbers across the league because the offenses across the league are down everywhere. Because when you look at the Chiefs personnel and you look at who they have on the outside, right? You guys play fantasy football, right? Yes. A lot of you. If you rostered Juju Smith-Schuster, are you excited? Nope. If you've been playing Marquez Valdes-Scantling, are you excited? Nope. If you've rostered Mecole Hardman, are you excited? Nope. Who are the two people on this roster, on this offensive scheme that you have rostered that have consistently came through for you? Shocker. Ready? Spoiler alert. Put your hat on. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. That's it. Clyde Edwards-Helaire and that running game is largely non-existent. Jerick McKinnon is playing more than he is because they throw him the ball more. What you're seeing is a team who Andy Reid does an incredible job of getting guys open and scheming guys. Like, I am not here to dispute Andy Reid, anything like that, right? I'm not here to dispute that. But on the outside and their weapons, what are you scared of right now at this point? Yeah. Now here, look, Jason, you said this about Atlanta. Sure did. And those weapons on the outside didn't beat the 49ers.
No, they
didn't.
I was right.
Yeah. I was right.
Yeah.
Let's double down on this a little bit. Yeah. The Buffalo Bills last week, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Close game, tightly contested, right? But what the Buffalo Bills did, as opposed to what they have done all year, 16% of the time they ran man. That means they're a large zone team. 54% of the time they ran man. Do you know why? Make Juju beat you. Make Marcus Valdes-Scantling beat you. Make Mecole Hardman beat you. I don't care how fast Mecole Hardman is. He's not like a top-tier wide receiver. Yeah. Do not tell me that Tyreek Hill leaving this team was good for them. Please do not tell me that, because then I have no idea what to tell you. Travis Kelce is going to do what Travis Kelce does, but this is why you need Jimmy Ward. So Jimmy Ward can come down and play Travis Kelce, and if Mooney Ward plays in this game, ooh, God help these outside guys. That's it. So for me, I have a hard time being as scared as other people are. Now that you're telling me Hufanga has a shot to play Sunday. Yeah. Bosa's back. Mooney got a shot. Jason Verrett might get his first game. Like it's when you look schematically at what they do, it's clear that Andy Reid is a mastermind and he's just incredible at what he does. But personnel-wise, they're missing something. And they've gotten by, and even the Las Vegas Raiders have put it on tape, playing man and forcing them. Like, Travis Kelce scored 4 touchdowns against the Raiders, right? Obviously, you can't let that happen, 49ers, right? Like, you can't let that happen. 7 catches, 25 yards. So get up and tackle.
Yeah.
Do not allow yards after the catch. And in the red zone, you've got to be able to contain Kelsey somehow. This Chiefs offense isn't nearly as formidable as it was in 2019.
No.
All right. So Verrett's out.
And a lot of it is lost with Tyreek Hill as well. And Jason, real quick, you're making fantastic points. I'm gonna step away for 2 seconds because my girlfriend's key isn't working.
You got it.
So keep talking.
You got it. Verrett's out. So I apologize for that. Thank you guys for correcting me. I'm sorry. I got a little too out of hand with that. But realistically, when you look at the way that teams, because you're not going to shut them out. You're not going to shut them out. Mahomes is too good. Kelsey's going to find a way to catch the ball. Like you understand that portion of it, right? But you have to be able to limit those plays and force someone else to do something. That's it. So I don't necessarily fear this team in the way that I did in 2019, even when that 49ers defense was so good. So it's going to boil down to the 49ers playing discipline, not extending drives with penalties, anything like that, not shooting themselves in the foot with busted coverages. And a lot of that's going to have to depend on who is actually going to be out there. Is Mooney going to play? Is Hufanga going to play? It feels that Jimmy Ward's going to play. And I'm fine with that. And I love Jimmy Ward's answer about the club. They were like, well, what is it that you won't be able to do with the club? He was like, well, I can't hold anybody. I love that. I love that answer. Yeah. I love that answer from Jimmy Ward. So, yeah, I mean, Jimmy Ward, if you want to call him the eraser, you can still run Gibson and Hufanga up there and just have him play down. But for me, there is a blueprint. The Bills threw it out there for everybody to slow them down. Now, this is where we flip the conversation back to the offense. If you can hold them to 20, can you score 21? And that's where we're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah, and actually that's where I wanted to pick up is the Kansas City defense. They don't scare me personally. Yeah. And I wrote this. We wrote today our prediction on the game, and I trust the Niners defense to do well against the Chiefs offense more than I trust the Chiefs defense to do well against the Niners offense. Did I say that right? Chiefs defense against the Niners. Yeah. So they're 27th against the pass in terms of passing yards. Perfect, Jesse. Shout out. Thank you. We love Jesse. They're 27th against the pass in the NFL. They're 4th against the run, but I'm going to throw in a but. In week 4, the Buccaneers ran the ball 6 times for 3 yards because they just it wasn't working. They completely abandoned it. If you remove that game, they go from the 4th best rush defense to middle of the league, maybe a little upper mid of the league. So it is a manageable defense against. But the thing I've noted, I looked into, Kansas City's allowed the 4th most yards after catch in the league. They're not great in terms of that. They've allowed the number. I'll pull up the number. But they've allowed the 4th most yards against the catch. Deebo Samuel has the 3rd most yards against the catch or yards after the catch in the league. Brandon Ayuk is top 15. Christian McCaffrey, he's going to be limited if he plays at all. He's pretty good in that as well. To me, this feels like it plays into the Niners' hand because that's what the Niners offense, we literally call them the Yak Bros because of it. And so to me, I really don't trust this Kansas City defense against, yes, I know a struggling Niners offense that has been struggling to do things. Yes, I know that. But it seems like it really plays under the Niners' hand as how poor they are against yards after the catch. And I'll find the numbers for you after you make your point, Jason.
Actually, I'm trying to find my point because I thought I found a stat that said that it's like the top 4 guys in the league in yards after catch, depending on who you ask, are like the 4 49ers weapons. But until I can find that, I'm not going to.
So according to PFF, or not PFF, Pro Football Reference, the Chiefs are tied for 3rd most, not even 4th, 3rd most with the Jacksonville Jaguars with 822 yards after the catch against. So that's not great. And the numbers I had for the yards after catch for the Niners, I believe, was PFR's. And I will find that in a second.
I can't find the tweet, so I'm not going to make that point. But I will tell you an area of concern with the Chiefs defense. Chris Jones.
Yes, that's a big one.
Chris Jones can blow this entire game up on the interior. I'm not going to get into why you know that as a fact 49ers fans. I don't want to turn this into
We
that.
don't.
But he's so good. And he's top of the league, I believe, in pass rush win rate. If this interior struggles to cover Chris Jones or block Chris Jones, yes, this may turn into a long game for this offense. Having said that, I think the best thing for the 49ers to do, and I'm sure, listen, whatever. I know you're watching, Kyle. I know it's Friday. It's 6 o'clock at your side.
Kyle Shanahan's not busy on Fridays.
Yeah, I know you're watching. You're not doing anything. The best thing that they're probably going to do is they're just going to put him in shotgun all game. And that makes sense, right? You have to be able to, one, get the ball out quickly, two, at least extend how far Chris Jones has to go. And, again, I doubt that Christian McCaffrey is going to play a ton. I mean, in the red zone, I'm sure he'll figure it out. They'll figure out something for him. That makes a lot of sense.
Just run to the end zone.
Yeah,
we'll
exactly.
Throw you the ball.
But at the same time, my biggest concern is Chris Jones.
Yes. Yes, and we can't talk about the Chiefs defense without mentioning that. I saw somebody asking, didn't Emmanuel Sanders play in the day after he was traded?
Yeah.
I looked it up. The Niners acquired him October 22nd, 2019. That was a Tuesday. So that's 3 whole days, because we'll call it Friday morning, Tuesday, Thursday night. The Niners acquired him. So tough.
Sanders has played in that kind of system before. So it's not that again, when everybody is like, oh, well, Shanahan's system is so complicated. It's the same stuff that everybody's running. It's the verbiage. It's a verbose. I love it. It's a verbose playbook, right? It's a lot of words. That's it more than anything. But the concepts are the same. Yes. Right? It's concept on this side. It's a dragon concept on this side. It's a 2-man levels on this side. That's universal stuff, right? So when people say, oh, it's complicated, it's less about it being complicated in terms of what they run and more about it, the words that they use when they call the plays out. That's why Jimmy has to look down at the thing and look at it and say and call it out that way.
And then I finally found the numbers we were talking about, Jason. Deebo Samuel is 3rd in the NFL per PFR, 271 yards after the catch, behind Justin Jefferson and Cooper Kupp. 2 very good receivers to be behind in a category. Brandon Ayuk is 16th with 148 yards after the catch, and he's actually right behind Terry McLaurin, which is a name we talk about quite a bit on the podcast. I see a lot of people asking about the 49ers injury situation, so let's talk about that for a second. And for the first time in a long time, it feels on this podcast, some positive injury news. And this is a David Lombardi tweet, all the 49ers whose status was in question at the beginning of this week are at practice on Friday. Charvarius Ward, Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, Mike McGlinchey, Jimmy Ward, Talanoa Hufanga, Samson Ebukam, Drake Jackson, Tyler Kroft, Eric Armstead, the only non-IR player not out there. And it really feels like Ward is the most questionable, or sorry, I should say Charvarius. There's 2 Wards on defense. Charvarius Ward is the most questionable right now. It sounds like he's at about the same place that Bosa was with. They both had groin injuries. Bosa had a groin. Ward has a groin. We all have groins. But Ward sounds like he's about the same place Bosa was. So take that as you may. It's going to be pretty important to get Mooney Ward out there, especially with no Verrett, because now we're talking about Samuel Womack, Diamador Lenore, and Ambry Thomas, and that doesn't feel great. So there's that. And then also on the other side as well, Chris Jones, he has played 97 of his 341 snaps on the defensive line against the left tackle. So it's not – Trent Williams will be back, obviously. That helps. But he'll probably see more of Mike McGlinchey, which that conversation is a little different. So watch out for Chris Jones, obviously. I think that's just an evergreen thing to say as well.
It is, but them using him on the edge is something new.
Yes,
and that's just oh my God, he's so good, man.
He's so good.
And look, he's man, good. I don't want to bring up why we know he's so good, but he is that good, man. And those are the things that, again, and not to say that the Chiefs are this, but remember 2019 when the Falcons came in, Grady Jarrett, that's an inferior team on the other side. He blew that game up. And that's the type of player that he is at this point. And I do want to talk about this real quick because Derek brings it up. How far has Ambry Thomas fallen?
Yeah.
That he's not even considered at this point. And look, I'm not going to take a victory lap on this, right?
No.
Because so many people push back when I went to training camp last year, I went to training camp this year, and I said, look, he's been struggling. He's been getting beat. And then he played particularly well down the stretch last year, even made the interception and sent the 49ers to the playoffs. But all those things were still there, and DeMeco Ryans did everything he could to shield him for that. And all that stuff was right back on display in training camp. He's fallen so far, and this is what we talk about. Third round pick. Don't trade third round picks. But for every third round pick, that's Fred Warner, they might end up being Trey Sermon, Ty Davis-Price, or Ambry Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And look, it's just a shame that somebody who played that well could continue to show those same signs. And how much of that was DeMeco Ryans just shielding him and pushing him out the way? Like right now, Samuel Womack is the first option off the bench, and so is Lenore to be outside. Like if Mooney, obviously Verrett's not going to play. If Mooney doesn't make this game, it's Womack and Lenore. And it's not even a discussion. It's not even a discussion.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
And just to give you an idea too, Ambry Thomas has played 63 snaps this season. 8 of them have been on defense. The rest have been on special teams. So there's that. So hopefully, obviously not to degrade it or anything like that. Hopefully it's not in a situation where
it's not a victory lap, but it's
we
just
see
like
extended. You don't want to see extended Thomas snaps on defense.
Right. And like
especially against Patrick Mahomes.
Right. And when we point these things out and stop hating. I'm just telling you what I saw. Like, it was on full display every single day that I was at training camp. Every day. Didn't matter who was across from him. Danny Gray, Juwan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk, even Debo. Like, it didn't matter. He was getting beat day after day. Like, he's got a ways to go with the development, man. He really does.
Yep. All right, Jason, we're getting to that point. Everybody's favorite segment on the Sprint Right Option podcast. Whomst revenge game is it? And there's a pretty obvious one, a soft spot for the Sprint Right Option podcast.
There's 2 obvious ones.
Well, there's 2 obvious ones, but one a soft spot for the Sprint Right Option podcast. The original meme we had, the McKinnon out of the Wildcat, Jerick McKinnon revenge game. He is playing I think it's his first game back against, because he went to the Chiefs. I think this is his first game back against the Niners since he's left. And then the other obvious one, if he plays, is Mooney Ward. Mooney Ward will be making his first game back against the Chiefs as well. So, and then that's a huge one. Like the Niners, I don't want to say they need him back, but like as close as you can get, they need him back.
Yeah, they do. And I would feel way better about this game. But at the same time, thank goodness Tyreek Hill's not playing in this game. But at the same time, that can be offset by Mahomes.
Yes,
running around a little bit, like that's the thing.
That's the thing. Like people say, like Juju Smith-Schuster, like all the receiver names and all that stuff. And to me, like yes, great points. None of them are Tyreek Hill, but the quarterback has stayed the same. And on any given week, Juju can look like Tyreek because of Patrick Mahomes, and that's kind of my point. Is man, the weapons aren't as scary as they used to be, but as long as it's Mahomes, I don't think I necessarily care as much because it's Patrick Mahomes. We're talking about a top 2, top 1 quarterback in the NFL. Depends who you ask. I personally have Allen higher, but some people have Mahomes higher. So that is a concern in my eyes. It's just Patrick Mahomes, but I don't think that's me sticking my neck out there, Jason, because I think Patrick Mahomes concerns a lot of people. A lot of people in the NFL have lost sleep because they have to play Patrick Mahomes, is my point.
For sure. Whom's revenge game is it? If Mooney doesn't play, it's not his revenge game. It's Jets. And the worst part about this is, I know you think that we're joking and like we're just like sticking to the shtick. He fits what they want to do.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is on passing downs, he's the check down guy and he's fine at what he does. And they like him a lot. Go back to last year's playoffs. And a lot of people stopped watching, they made it to the same game. So I'll take that back. You guys watched. Clyde Edwards-Helaire didn't play down the stretch. Darrell Williams didn't play down the stretch. It was Jet. So, yeah, it's Jets' revenge game. For the one time ever, when Jet scores a touchdown, the gods smile. I need him to not score this week at all because that's not going to feel good at all. But here's the thing. Like, then GCC Greenwall will handle Jet. you don't need to put someone on McKinnon. Like, do not get it twisted. Like, you don't need to designate someone to stop Jerick McKinnon. That's not where he makes his money. Where he makes his money is when Mahomes is running around in a circle with the weird ass way that he runs with the football hanging out like an idiot like the whole time. And then he turns around and he just throws it back to McKinnon, who's wide open because everyone's chasing, Mahomes. That's where he makes his money. Yes. Nobody's necessarily worried about, like, you don't go into a Chiefs game saying, man, I can't let Jerick McKinnon whip me. We got to identify him and put him. No. It's not about that. Mm-hmm. It's about those plays when Mahomes is running around like with his flailing arms and he runs like he's like running on his heels. He's got the weirdest way that he runs. And then he turns around and he throws it back and McKinnon's open and McKinnon gets 7 on a 3rd and 5. That extends a drive. Like, those are the plays that stink. Like those are the ones that you really have to be looking out for. It's not necessarily prepare for Jerick McKinnon. Please, it's a meme. We joke around a lot, but I'm talking from a pure football standpoint. And I watch the Chiefs a ton because, Travis Kelce helps me win fantasy games all the time.
Yes.
But like, it's not necessarily that it's like, oh, Jerick McKinnon is like this guy that you need to make sure that you got somebody on focus. That's not where he makes his money. He makes his money on the freestyle plays where Mahomes is running around.
I saw somebody in the comments ask if McCaffrey can return. He has not had a return in the NFL since 2017.
Do not.
He's way too valuable to do that.
Absolutely not.
All right. Hey, Jason, I got exciting news. If you guys, for whatever reason, miss our predictions on any game from here on out, go to NinersNation.com, where actually all the staff writers put our prediction here. I'll give you a random one. KP, he had 49ers 27, Chiefs 23. But Rob had Kansas City 31, 49ers 21. You can get all our thoughts at NinersNation.com on every staff writer's prediction on every game for this season, including mine and Jason's. But we're going to tell you our prediction right now. Jason, I'll let you go first.
I've got the 49ers winning 27-24, and I'm going to look at my notes because I wrote it right here. But look, call me crazy. This feels like exactly the time that the 49ers are going to be counted out. Look no further than the fact that this game, they have them at underdogs, even though that line has shrunk.
Yep.
Jim Harbaugh's in the building. Travis Kelce is the only real weapon. Everybody's coming back. Nick Bosa, Trent Williams. Okay, Hufanga's back. Yeah, give me the Niners. Yeah. Give me the Niners. The game plan's out there. If you can get to the quarterback, you can do some things, and you can hold this defense down for as long as you can. You know that you obviously cannot shut them out. I'm not saying that. But I've got them 27-24, and it's largely on the back of the offense. Give me a Jimmy Garoppolo game for some sort of redemption. Just a little bit. You don't get a Super Bowl ring for winning this game, but does kind of feel good to, like, send them off, send them back home. And it will debunk the Andy Reid stat of back-to-back losses.
And also, too, something that kind of gets lost and forgotten because of what happened in 2019 is if you were to put Jimmy Garoppolo's 49er career on like a timeline, the Chiefs are 2 of the biggest stopping points because not only the Super Bowl, but he tore his ACL in Arrowhead in 2018 as well. So almost a double revenge game for Garoppolo as well.
Oh, so let's speak that to. So that's whose revenge game.
That's another revenge. Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo as well. So I don't like to be emotional with my picks. Oh, Aaron Andrews sidelining as well. Jimmy G about to go off. I love that thought, comrade. I love it. I like to make my predictions with my brain and not necessarily my heart. And all week I had the Chiefs beating the 49ers because I think they're the better football team. And then Christian McCaffrey got traded to the 49ers. And I know he's not going to play a ton. But boy, oh boy, I am drinking the Flavor Aid right now. I got the 49ers 28, Chiefs 24. That was my prediction. I know Chris Jones exists. I don't know, man. Something about the yards after catch stat that I mentioned earlier. It's screaming to me right now. And that's what I think is going to be the difference. Just don't let Mahomes be in a position to have the ball at the end of the game.
Put really, it like this. Good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, even too, like if it's going to be a 1-score game, don't let it be a situation where Mahomes has the ball in his hands at the end of the game. Put together, dare I say, shit. Could you imagine if the Niners were up 28-24 with I'm going to throw a number out there. I'm going to say 8 minutes left on the clock, and they put together, I'm going to throw a number, like a 16-play drive to just kind of milk it. They don't have to score or nothing, but like a 16-play, 8-minute drive to ice the game be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, and
I got Jason with that one. Let's go. I got Jason with that one.
You did. You completely threw me off. I had something I wanted to say. It's gone. Like
I know.
I
feel bad for you.
No, it's all right. Look, no, seriously. I really do think that everything, shot in the arm, energy, all of that stuff. I do think that at times vibes are immaculate. There are going to be immaculate vibes in the building. I would suspect that Jim Harbaugh is going to speak to the team.
If we don't get one who's got it better than us, what are we even doing here?
I mean, it's better than Bang Bang Niner Gang. I
would way better. Oh my god, worst C40 song there is. So that's going to be it for the podcast version of the Sprint Right Option podcast. We really appreciate everybody listening. Hang out through the post-show credits because we're going to continue. We're just going to hang out, have fun. After dark, first time in 2022. It's going to be exciting. We're going to have a good time. We'll have some of you guys in to talk as well.
Just posted the link.
And we'll have people come in and talk. Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Niners. And don't kill us, Jet. Please, come on.
Yeah, be nice to us, please. We love you.
Yeah, come on. Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Right Option podcast. So GTC just made a great point. Is this an Ambry revenge game as well since Harbaugh's in the building?
Ambry?
Yeah.
How?
Because Ambry went to Michigan.
Oh, maybe receiver.
Maybe show off a little bit. Yeah. I got a question, and it has nothing to do with anything. And you don't even have to give me an answer. I had a not sober thought last night. Seeing, and this might cause some issues with some people, but I think it's a very fun. I think a lot of sports conversation is hypotheticals. Seeing how
we got our first caller.
Shout out. Seeing how good Sauce Gardner has been for the Jets. Would you go back in time and trade Debo for the 4th pick?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
There you go. Hello.
Yankee lover. Hey, look, man.
Are we talking Yankees?
No, we're not my God, you have no idea. We spoke for 2 minutes on our last podcast, 2 minutes about baseball. And I got an angry comment. Well, yeah, I should just be a baseball podcast. Calm down, bro. It's 2 minutes to an opener.
I think you're very protected right now because you've said all year, this Yankee season is going to go until they play the Astros in the playoffs. You've been telling us the whole time.
It was always going to be, what can they do when they face the Astros? Yes. And yet, here we are. I thought Judge did it, but the Yankees can only score 2 runs in Houston. That's it. They can only score 2. But Yankee lover, what's up, man? Thank you for calling in, bro. What's up?
Well, not much. I'm the one to always be throwing Yankees out there, just FYI. Hey,
you might as well, right? There's a lot of fans of this podcast that unfortunately their team's not in it, and you know what? We're not done, but 2-0 is far from ideal.
Is that Texas Ranger stuff behind you though?
I know. Yeah, I'm a Texas Ranger guy. My brother's a Yankee guy.
Let's talk about Bruce Bochy. We can talk Bruce Bochy all day.
I'm excited about that.
That's the end of After Dark. I'm gonna get on. No, I'm just kidding.
What's up, Yankee? How you doing, man?
All is good. How y'all feeling tonight?
Oh, fantastic.
Hold on, real quick. I'm trying to get the audio. I can't. You guys hear me good?
I hear you perfectly fine. Yeah, you're in my ear.
I'm trying to. Sorry about that, guys. I thought I had it on speaker. I can't get it to you guys sound low. I hear you guys, but not clear, super clear.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can hear you totally fine. So
if you put the other ear probably back on your thing, maybe it'll help.
No. This is because I'm sorry. I was on Xbox, but usually it's loud.
Okay. What you playing?
One second. You mind if I call real back? I think I know what it is, but let me reset.
You're good.
Sorry about that.
I'm gonna drop the link in here again. Bruce Bochy, man, who cares, Andrew? I'm tired.
Wait, no, you can't. Who cares about Joe Torre? Who cares about Derek?
Who won more rings?
Who cares about any of them? Well, I don't care. I know who won more rings, Jason. Thank you. But the Giants fans went 56 years without a ring, and then all of a sudden this Bochy guy comes and they win 3-5.
And the Yankees hadn't won since 1970 something.
That's fair.
And when Joe Torre was hired, the back page literally said "Clueless Joe." They were slandering Joe Torre.
That's a great nickname, though. That's a great play on Clueless Joe. That's great. I like
Clueless
that.
Joe, because he managed the Cardinals, he managed the Mets, and he never did anything, and it was a lot. But he went in and he broke the curse, and he won 96, 98, 99, 2000. He won 4. Should have won 5, but whatever.
So for those of you who are new, this is something we did a couple times last year when the podcast ended, but Jason and I just kind of want to keep talking. Really, I mean, obviously this is a 49er podcast, but we let the conversation go where the chat wants it to go. It doesn't necessarily have to be 49ers related. We just spent a whole hour talking about the San Francisco 49ers. So if you guys want to talk about really anything, it doesn't even have to be sports related. If you want to ask Jason and I our thoughts on House of the Dragon, I got thoughts on that as well. Things like that. So if y'all wanna hang out for a bit, we're gonna talk whatever you guys want. We'll try and keep it on topic best we can, especially if you guys do want to hear more Niners thoughts. Absolutely, whatever you guys want. You're still muted. Got to push that button. That button's hard to press. I have the same mic as you, but it struggles sometimes.
Do you want to talk about why MJF is my favorite wrestler since this guy?
MJF. Oh, I love him. Maxwell.
Dawson, get in here. Get in here right now, Dawson.
Oh, why is Dawson? Why are we on a Dawson?
Because Dawson is awesome, and I want to hear him speak. I want to hear what he has to say about anything.
Is Dawson? He's an LSU fan, right?
LSU guy, and
Florida
that's why he
State-
didn't like
Florida
our
State.
TDP propaganda early on.
Florida State beat them early.
Oh wow! Now he's not gonna come on. Dawson, don't come on.
No,
Man.
Dawson, come on. I
don't-
won't talk. No. Florida State's already done. I don't care anymore. I won't mention it. Maybe once. No, MJF is amazing. You should go back and watch in 2020. He cut like a presidential speech.
Shout out to you, Ariel. Your favorite Dominican just poured this for me as well too. She's here. She's sitting right over there. Look at her. She's looking right. Huh? No, because all right. So look, real quick, backstory. So yeah, GC says hi, Ariel. So backstory, real quick. In Atlanta,
Yes.
we're going to the Invasion at the Hard Rock Cafe, and we're trying to find our way through, and they're doing the raffle. They're giving away George Kittle this and that, and people are saying, "What's up, man?" And it's crazy, man. Like yesterday, I said on Brad's show, sometimes I feel burnt out. Sometimes I feel like it's people yelling at me, and I don't like the negativity. But there were so many people who said so many nice things to me while I was there. And it really re-energized me and just said, you know what, just keep going. So we're online, we get through whatever, fine, they're giving everything out. And, I'm walking through and we finally get to the other side. And, Ariel's there and he's like, he was like, I just DM'd you. What do you want to drink? And I had to introduce him to GC. And I'm like, yo, this is my mod for my YouTube channel. And she's like, what the hell? And I'm like, yeah. So it was good to hang out with him. Here we go. But it was good to see Ariel. We had a good time. We kicked it at John Chapman's thing. Found out that he's Dominican. GC's Dominican. So they clicked it off like right off the bat. But here we go. There's my guy. What's up, Dawson?
Hello. Hey.
What up, Dawson? Oh, dude, I love the WWE title. I won't mention LSU, I promise. But I love the WWE title in the background.
Stuff. Don't look at the Infinity Gauntlet, though.
Ooh, I love it. What's up, Dawson? How are you today, man?
I'm good. I just recorded stuff.
Nice.
Edited it all in one go.
So what are your thoughts on McCaffrey? I want to hear different people's thoughts on how excited they are.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to be excited.
Well, I just what's the word I'm thinking here? Sorry, bit nervous guy here.
Oh, I do. Hey,
Dawson,
we're keeping
Dawson,
it loose.
Take your time, Dawson. Chill out. We're good, man. The judgment-free zone, you know what it is.
Yeah.
Go for it. Take your
But
time.
anyway, I thought like one thing that, like, I think this is just like as a college fan, I think, one explosive run can change things, right?
Mhm.
And I think that was missing the Atlanta game because, they went pass heavy. I'm like, you're down one score, you should try and run more and see if, one of your running backs can do something like, Ty Davis or Jeff Wilson, all that type of stuff, right? So having, McCaffrey and with that, the passing, effect, it should, do well and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's as I said earlier in the pod as well, like ever since Shanahan has been in the league, it's almost been the dream scenario of seeing what a Christian McCaffrey can do in his system. And now, like, it's no longer a dream. It is reality. And I think that's easily the most exciting part about it. Like, obviously, Christian McCaffrey going anywhere is exciting and it's big news, whatever it may be. But specifically this offense, like, it almost feels like the offense is designed for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you're about to see like another wrinkle expansion because the 49ers didn't necessarily throw the ball to their running backs at all. And now that's something that has to change because given the dynamic of him, right? Like, and there's just so many layers to why this works. It's an exciting time. You should be excited. I absolutely love the move, especially when we went through the history of second, third round, fourth round picks and what they turn out to be. Some of them turn out to be your franchise punter. Some of them turn out to be, other, I'm never letting that go. I don't care. I'll never let that go. I don't care.
It could be worse, Jason, because I did want the Niners to draft a punter this draft, and the Bills ended up drafting him.
And thank God they did not.
Boy, oh boy, how Mitch Wisnowski doesn't look too bad anymore.
Oh, no. Listen, if we're talking straight up, listen, the one thing the 49ers do is straight up character. So I'm sure that they vetted all of that out and they just completely avoided it. So good on them. Shame on me, because I was, again, I went to the combine and you're floored at guys who are bench pressing in front of you, doing things. They're running 40s fast as hell. I was floored at how far Matt Araiza could punt the ball. And then you find out all these other things. Yeah. So it's not something that I don't think that it was like a secret. I think anybody who really did due diligence, and that's, what we always make a joke about the front office, they kind of got to it. So yeah. No, don't block him. Look. Don't block.
We love Chris.
Don't
Everett.
block Jim Everett. Don't do that. Don't do that. Leave it. We're good.
We like one of the greatest
marketing pros. My favorite Rams fan, and we're good. We've gotten to a medium where we're good. We're good. We know his shtick.
One of our favorite consistent viewers was somebody who came in and talked shit consistently. Don Burr. That's Don Burr.
Don Burr's the GOAT. We all root for the Lions for Don Burr.
So
Dawson, real quick, let me ask you this. Dawson. Favorite wrestler? I'm wearing my favorite wrestler shirt.
I'm wearing a generic wrestling shirt.
And AEW is something that I don't really pay attention to, but because I am so drawn to MJF and his promos that I see on Twitter, I literally send them to Andrew. I'm like, yo, he cooked this. He's smoking right now. Favorite wrestler of all time, favorite current wrestler, real quick.
Current Seth Rollins.
Nice.
All time. I gotta go with
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's here's the thing. I'm a 19-year-old, person. I haven't seen much, past wrestling, right? So all time, I gotta go AJ Styles.
I love that. That's a great pick too. Yeah, no, for me, all time, up until maybe All Out was CM Punk. Opinions have changed a little bit on CM Punk. But yeah, Seth Rollins is a fantastic pick. Everything he's done has been magic lately. Roman Reigns as well. He's up there. Bray Wyatt. Oh, Bray Wyatt. But I definitely like MJF quite a bit, especially because Jason sends me stuff. Jason's walking a very dangerous line, kind of telling me he's kind of into MJF because he'll wake up in 2 days and I'll send him hey man, I just watched a bunch of MJF shit. Here's 14 videos. You should
he sent me a 15-minute video, and I promise you, I sat there and I watched all of it. And you know what's funny is MJF is feuding with a guy during the Attitude Era that I remember. William Regal, and that's why I'm sending him. Don't besmirch me, and that was his stupid catchphrase at the time. I used to love his little shtick and everything. Yeah. It is so funny to me that this is full circle. Chris Jericho, I remember he came from WCW, and remember he was in ECW for a little while, and then when he came over and he turned into Y2J. And I will never, ever forget that again. So I'm telling you, this is the era that I'm from. So to see the new guys cross over with him, it's insane to me, man. It's really cool.
My heart is so warm right now with just how many people are talking wrestling in the chat.
And I can't believe 170 people have stuck around for us to talk about wrestling. You guys, we're supposed to be talking
wrestling
football.
Is great. That's how I started content creating anyway.
Nice.
Actually, that's where I started too. Not content, but when I was in college, I did a radio station, KSSU, Sac State Student Radio Station, and I met a lot of my good friends, who I still talk to now, and they're all wrestling fans. And for all the pay-per-views, we would do prediction shows on air. So wrestling was my introduction to this as well.
Yeah. All right, Dawson, let's bring it back to the 49ers real quick.
Yeah,
let's get your thoughts on Sunday. Jim Harbaugh's in the building. Khakis are in the building. Walmart's running out of khakis right now as we speak.
Yeah.
And here's all right. You know what? How old were you in 2012, Dawson?
10 years.
Freak,
You said 19, 9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You were
yeah,
9?
around that, yeah.
Do you
That's
remember-
when I got big into 49ers stuff.
Okay.
Harbaugh,
Okay.
yeah.
So that team was the team that really like got you into them.
Yeah.
And you live in Louisiana, correct?
No, Mississippi.
Mississippi. Okay. What is your obviously don't tell me what's the worst memory because we know how that season ended. What was your fondest memory of those 2012 teams and what you'll always remember? Because I have one, I'm sure Andrew has one, you have one. I don't think it'll all be the same.
Saints game.
Right, the divisional game. Talk about it.
Just you got a lot of friends.
You're in Saints country though, right? Like the Mississippi
that's the
people are like
thing,
they're
yeah,
all Saints fans. All right, go for it.
Yeah, and a bunch of Saints country. They're talking all this stuff, and then Harbaugh and the 49ers just beat them. It's great. And then I repeated that in 2019. Once again, when they went to the Superdome. Wasn't great the last year. 2020.
No, that's all right. That's all right. But you know what?
Sometimes Jameis just beats you. I don't even think Jameis played that game. But
No, he didn't finish the game.
Yeah, he didn't finish that game.
Or he came in. Or he came in or something like that. I think Drew got injured.
I forgot who injured Drew Brees.
Drew Brees, yeah, he got dropped on. It was Kevin Gibbons, I think.
Yeah,
it was Kevin Gibbons.
He used that excuse for the Buccaneers playoff game. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Andrew, what's your fondest 2012 moment?
The Saints game definitely is one of them. There may or may not be a video of me somewhere of me sprinting out of my parents' house.
Wait a minute, hold on. That's 2011.
That's 2011. Yeah. So if we're moving to 2012,
that's fine. No, it's the same era. Dawson.
Yeah, I just count all of Harbaugh together.
Yeah, I do
too. Man, 12. Probably the Falcons game, man.
Mm-hmm.
The playoff game. The Falcons were the worst 13-3 team in NFL history. In my opinion, they just never seem. It was almost like the prerequisite of what the Falcons kind of have become. Oh, Don Burr's in here. Oh, Don Burr's here. Don Burr is here. Hello, Don Burr. We love you. But
let's go.
Don Burr's there.
Let's go, Don Burr.
But the
we
Falcons
Lions game,
the Niners fell behind what 17-0.
Some Julio guy caught a touchdown. It was the most conflicting thing I've ever seen in my life.
And my dad was so nervous, and I'm like, nah, dude, who cares? Like, it's the Falcons. They're gonna blow this lead. And maybe the defining moment for that 49er era in my mind was Frank Gore scoring the game-winning touchdown. The guy who never really did a touchdown celebration, busting out the Dirty Bird in Atlanta, eliminating them in the playoffs. Yeah, that's an all-time moment.
There.
All right. I would love to pick that one because I remember that game fondly. My brother was a Falcons fan because he loved Dion, and he would always argue with younger Jason. Like if you think Spicy Aponte just grew up and this is how I am now, this is how I was. He would fight me tooth and nail about Andre Rison's first 4 seasons were better than Jerry Rice's first 4 seasons. And I would literally be like, you are a moron. Like, you're not making any sense. Like, do you realize who you're talking to? Okay. So he's in my house and they score and they're up. And I looked at him and dead in his face. And this was before 28-3 ever happened. I looked him dead in his face and said, calm down. You know what the Falcons do? They blow games. Relax. When the game was over, quiet as a church mouse. And I looked at him and I was like, told you, be quiet.
Didn't the Falcons play the Seahawks the week before? And I'm looking up the box score.
Falcons, they were winning that game and they were blowing the game at the end.
They were up 27-7 going into the fourth quarter. And Matt Bryant had to hit a field goal with 8 seconds left to win.
Yeah. So my favorite 2012 game has to be that Packers game, man. Yes. Look, I felt as confident as ever going into that NFC Championship that the 49ers were going to the Super Bowl because I know the Falcons. I knew them, right? Like, I don't care how effective their offense was. When it comes down to it, brass tacks, when it's time to pay the bill, they're not going to get it done. But I remember, and this is super fan Jason. Like, now I feel bad to say it, but I've kind of detached from the fan stuff because I want to be somewhat partial, right? But this is super fan Jason in 2012. A Patrick Willis jersey, the same Jordan shorts, the same Nikes, the same exact outfit every single day, the same exact thing to drink, which I am ashamed to say were PBRs at the time. I don't know why. Someone brought them and they worked and they won. And I said, we're sticking with it and we're going to run with this. So it's the Packers game. Cap comes out. He throws a pick 6. and everybody in the house that's with me, they kind of just get like quiet. And then Cap absolutely destroys them the rest of the way, man. And I remember this fondly and vividly. Colin Kaepernick hits the hole and starts running, and I start running down my hole. I don't even watch the play end. I just run down, and I knew he's scoring.
Yep.
He's gone, and I remember the call vividly. Joe Buck, what a game by Colin Kaepernick. So stop hating on Joe Buck. Joe Buck is the narrator. Great. Joe Buck is the narrator of many of your favorite moments, whether good or bad. Like
Ishikawa's walk-off home run in 14.
Yeah. And I ran down my house, man, at that point. Like, it was an apartment that we had. Like, I ran down, and I knew he was going to score. And I will fondly remember the 49ers sending Aaron Rodgers home. Like, Aaron Rodgers is owned by the 49ers, but he's owned by Cap twice, once in Lambeau, once in Candlestick. He's owned by Garoppolo 2 times, once at Levi's, once at Lambeau. Like, Aaron Rodgers, for all of that talk about not as mad as the 49ers will be for not drafting us. Sure, the 49ers probably will have one extra Super Bowl, but you've never really stuck it to us like that. You really haven't, unfortunately. Dustin, we got another caller on, man.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like kick you or anything like that, but
that's all right. I gotta make thumbnails.
Thank you for everything. Look, subscribe to Dawson's channel. You're gonna get LSU content. You're gonna get Niners content. You're gonna get wrestling content. I think we covered all 3 of those things at this point right now. Dawson, I always appreciate when you call in, man. And anytime that you need anything, that I'm a DM away. Anything that you need, I will always look out for you, bro. I got you, man.
I'm always down to talk wrestling. So shoot me a message and I'll talk wrestling.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks, Dawson. Appreciate you, bro.
It, man.
Yeah.
Have a good night, man.
Have a good night.
Here we go. This is one for Andrew. Oh, Sid, what's up?
What up? Oh my God. Oh my God.
He's so excited. Look at him. Go talk to Andrew. Sid, I've met you before, and we've had an amazing conversation. Andrew is super excited to finally see you.
Hello.
Hi, Andrew. Nice to meet you on
the internet.
On video in the internet. How are you?
I am doing fantastic now. You're not a day one, you're the day one.
You know what? The content, I mean, you guys do an amazing job.
My heart.
Not only are you informative, but you're also entertaining.
That's what we strive for. That's like literally what we're going for, Sin. Appreciate you. Sin, I'm gonna ask you the same question that we asked Dawson. And I think because Sin, I've spoken with you before. Yes. And I know how that 2012 season went. I know how it ended also. You were in New Orleans for the Super Bowl.
I was in New Orleans, and I also went to the most recent Super Bowl. I was there, and yes, I pulled the plug on the lights, and that's how they went out.
Let's go. Sid, so tell me real quick, your 2012 favorite moment. I mean, Andrew says the NFC Championship. I say the divisional. There's a few moments that you could look at, but what's 2012's favorite moment for you?
I think my favorite moment was when we won the NFC Championship game and we knew we were going to the Super Bowl. It was like, here we are. We're going to the Super Bowl.
And even too, like I think what helps it too is what happened the previous year in the NFC Championship game, and I feel like that's a lot of what Jim Harbaugh's career has been, because like if I don't think the Ohio State victory last year means as much if he doesn't lose 17 consecutive times to them, and I felt like the reason that NFC Championship win against the Falcons felt so great was because of what happened, and we don't need to talk about it. But because of what happened the year before in that NFC Championship game, and it felt like the Steve Young monkey off the back type thing. That's what it felt like, and that I think that's why that Atlanta game has always resonated with me.
Yes, I mean that was a really special game, and I hated that we lost last week to them, but that's another story.
Oh, I was there actually, Sin, and that stadium. I haven't been to many stadiums. I've been to Tampa, Atlanta, Levi's, SoFi, Philly, MetLife, FedEx. FedEx is the worst
Your
stadium
list
I've ever
is-
been to in my
Your
life.
list
That's like
is amazing.
yeah. No, but FedEx is the worst stadium I've ever been to in my life, and that
Yeah.
was obviously the 2019 rain game. Like no one could have
Whoa.
enjoyed that.
Was
That's the
that
best.
in Washington
2019.
D.C.?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
didn't-
it was a
I
terrible
canceled
game to
my
be at.
tickets to go there when I was supposed to go, but I canceled. So
Yeah. No, good for you. Good on you.
Don't blame me.
Literally,
That looks miserable.
you know, my wife at the time, like my wife who's here, like not at the time, she's right here. We went to the game. We spent more on the parking than we did our field level seats. and it was that bad. But Mercedes-Benz Stadium is the best stadium I've ever been to, hands down. Like hands down, not even close. And SoFi is a close second. Sorry guys, I know you want me to say Levi's, but it's just not. What I think was impressive, and I don't know if Cynthia just left,
yes.
but
Oh, there she
okay.
is.
What was impressive, I think, about that NFC Championship game and what people kind of forget, and I don't know if this is going to exacerbate the pointless conversation of replace Kyle with Jim. 49ers went down 17-0,
No.
but Jim leaned right back into the run.
That's
Like
why
a lot
they
of
came
people,
back. That is why
wanna,
they came back.
right? A lot of people want to point to like, oh, Cap led them back. Frank Gore led them back. Like Michael James scored a touchdown in that game. They ran the shit out of the ball like at the end of that game. So it's like it's okay and it's easy to like look and say, well, Colin Kaepernick brought them back. He was, I don't know, like Jim leaned back into the run in that NFC title game and it brought them all the way back. And that's something that I have to give him credit for, because me with my unprofessional ass and my Madden playing self, I would have just been like, throw the ball, like get us back in the game. You're down 17-0, but Jim did the right thing.
So
Jim did the right thing.
I'm looking at the game log really quick, just on that point too. Atlanta scored 7-0. Niners go 3-and-out. Atlanta scores 10-0. Niners go 3-and-out. Atlanta scores 17-0. Niners open the second quarter, 4 consecutive runs with Gore, 4 consecutive passes, or 6 consecutive passes with Kaepernick, and then Michael James ended it with a touchdown, 17-7. So like literally going to the run turned that game around.
Incredible.
You know, I just wish that we would do that when we get behind. You know, it would have been nice, and it would have been nice for them to run the ball in at the Super Bowl. Frank Gore was right there. We were right there.
All right, so if we're gonna open this wound, let's fully talk about this
Honestly,
real quick.
I don't think there's anybody I'd rather open this wound with than Sin.
All right, yeah. All right. So look, I've watched this game one time.
Oh, that's one more time than I've watched it.
I talked about it with Brad when we just dated a franchise. I have woken up in cold sweats thinking, why didn't the 49ers run the ball one time on those 4 times? Okay. So, like, remember in the heat of the moment, and you have the perception that you have of the game, and you're watching, and you're like, you know, and you're passionate, and you're talking to people like at a Super Bowl party and everything, you kind of forget the minute things.
Yep.
Here's the part that bothers me the most about those 4 plays. First of all, Jim Harbaugh had 4 separate play callers. Greg Roman, 1st and 2nd down. He had 1 guy for 3rd and short. He had 1 guy for 3rd and long, and he had Jeep Christ in the red zone.
Wow.
So for everybody yelling about Jim Harbaugh called this fade pass, no. Jeep Christ called that 4 times. I don't know how you're supposed to function as that and as an offense when you have 3 different minds, 4 different minds doing that. But hey, whatever. All right. If you go back, and I don't want you to do this, but I did this because the first time that I got into content creation, I started it because I wanted to be a writer. So I wrote basically an oral history of where I was, when this happened, how this happened, and I watched the game over, and then I went through the entire game. And then while I talked about what happened in the game, I talked about what the mood was like in my house while I had a Super Bowl party on the East Coast. The first play of that drive, Sin, I don't know if you remember, Colin Kaepernick gets the ball, and they just run a sweep the other way, and he's about to walk in for a touchdown. And unfortunately, Jim Harbaugh called timeout because they let the clock run all the way down to 1 second on the play clock. So it's pretty funny how like a lot of people have narratives about Jim Harbaugh and Kyle Shanahan, but I could make the argument Jim Harbaugh got close, didn't win the game. Jim Harbaugh had clock management issues. Jim Harbaugh didn't know how to finish. Sounds a lot like the guy who coaches this team right now, right?
Yes.
Like,
yeah, I made that point to somebody the other day. Yes.
So it's funny, like if you watch, I don't want you to watch that foreplay sequence. I really don't ever want you. I am not telling you to watch this. I did this in the effort to create better content. But Colin Kaepernick was about to finish that Super Bowl. He took the ball and he just ran left, and that Ravens defense was gassed. They were gassed by the run. Frank Gore was killing them down the field, like with the run. And it was a touchdown. They called a timeout right before the play was supposed to happen, and they blew it dead. And then we know the rest. And that's, for me, guys, I'm not trying to open up old wounds, but 2012 hurts way worse, I feel, in my opinion, than 2019. Because there's a part of you that says the game's over, and then all of a sudden your team storms back after Sin pulls the plug. And then to have your heart ripped out there at the end and be 4 yards away and not be able to score, that one hurts the worst.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm hurt by both.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, Sid.
They
Of
both
course,
suck.
Sid. Of course.
I hate both of them.
Oh my goodness.
It's like what hurts worse, getting kicked in a certain part of the area or stubbing your toe in the middle of the night. It's like both of them suck.
I almost
And
broke my toe.
the worst thing is being at the Super Bowl and all that confetti coming down, and it's not for your team.
I'm sorry, Sin.
Oh, I would definitely be the player who, you know how like the Stephon Diggs thing where he's just standing there watching. I would just stand there and watch. I think
I would too, actually.
No emotion, just watch.
And you know what? I love what George Kittle said. I'll be back, and I will be back with a vengeance. I love that idea too. And you know, there is something to good sportsmanship and using things for motivation. I'm all about like, tell me I can't do something or show me the worst thing, and I'm gonna do everything I can to prove you wrong. So I'm completely with that whole idea. It's an hour and a half, Andrew. It's getting close, like to my bedtime, man. Like I've got to watch this terrible Halloween movie on Peacock that everybody's talking about, and I just gotta say, Sin, thank you so much for calling in, Sin. It's so good for you to call in.
Thank you guys for everything you do, and hopefully I'll see you guys at a game.
I was gonna say, what are the games you're going to this year, Sin? I know you're closer to me than you are, Andrew.
Well, I'm going to the Miami game because my
Oh, Andrew's going. Oh, you better go hang out.
That's the game I am attempting. I've been to. So Jason's list was very long of stadiums he's seen. I have seen Candlestick Park, and I have seen CenturyLink Field, but that was for an MLS game. I've been to one Niners game in my life. My best friend, not named Jason Aponte, is a big Dolphins fan, and we were going to go in 2020 when the Dolphins came to town, and then whole COVID thing happened, obviously. So this is the year we're trying to make it out for the Dolphins game. So that is the game that I have penciled in to go to this season.
Well, I will look for you there. Jay, I almost went to the Atlanta game, but I had to change my plans, and that's how I ended up going to the Miami game.
Atlanta was incredible. I brought my wife. We went to the Invasion. We went to John Chapman's thing. We went to the game. It was incredible, man. Like Atlanta, my only complaints with Atlanta would have to do with their airport and the airline that we waited too long to book for. But that's a whole other story for another day. I could do a whole hour and a half podcast on what I did on the way back. Tony, thank you for the donation. Real quick before we go, what is the most likely way the Niners will be able to force Mahomes into having a bad game? Nick Bosa putting him on his ass and not allowing him to run around, as weird as he is with the way that he runs with the ball out. Like, you cannot allow him to get out of the pocket. You cannot. The off-script plays between him and Kelsey, him and McKinnon, those are the plays that on third down will end up being the problem. The 49ers, for as good as they have been on defense, I will say this. The 49ers, for as good as they've been on defense, when they were fully healthy, they have a problem getting off the field on third downs. And the numbers are there for you. If they do not get off the field on third downs, it doesn't matter if it's the Kansas City Chiefs, the Atlanta Falcons. There was a 3rd and 13. Marcus Mariota picked it up with his legs. That is gross. That makes me feel terrible. Get off the field on third. Get off the field on third down. It's about third downs, and it's about off-script plays. That's it.
Yes. I'll see you guys later.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate you.
This meant the world to me. I love it. Appreciate it.
All right, and let's get the hell out of here. Is Andrew gatekeeping the Niners, or is he gate?
Is that the right way to use that word?
I'm gonna let you guys argue offline, but this is a great one. Andrew,
we need to do After Dark more. I missed it. I missed just
Tell the
dicking around
49ers to trade.
talking.
Tell the 49ers to trade for like a high impact player. Like who else can they trade for right now that's like going to be like as
Brian
big?
Burns.
Oh
Just-
wow!
we know you have the Panthers phone number, guys. Do it.
Make it happen.
Odell's available.
That'll be an emergency pod. Me, you, and Brad Graham.
Dude, if Brad Graham makes it happen, especially as a Florida State fan, because I'm a
Right.
Florida State fan, not Brad, but I'd be very
Hey,
excited.
Andrew Pasquini, as always.
Let's go Niners and beat the Chiefs. Huh?
Beat the damn Chiefs, man.
Beat
Please.
the damn Chiefs. We love it. Jason, I love you.
I love you, buddy. Later, man.
Later.